welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's December 15th, so it's time for the 15th beer in our Kalea Brewers Advent Calendar. So, like I said yesterday, we might be getting to the point where there's some repetition. I know some of these were beers that were in last year's 12 Beers of Christmas box, so maybe it'll be another repetitive one. No, it is not. Well, no. This is Perlenzauber IPA, Perlenzauber, I guess. Now, there was a Perlenzauber beer last year, but I think the can was a different color, and it said German Pale Ale, where this one is actually an IPA. So this is made by, let's see what we have here, Privatbrauerei Egerer. So we saw this before, Egerer. We've had a few beers from them, and they're from Großköllnbach, Germany. Now, it was kind of interesting. I think when I went to Beer Advocate, it said Privatbrauerei Egerer, but said brewed at Brauerei Ried, R-I-E-D. So I don't know if this is maybe like contract brewed by somebody else. 6% ABV matches up with what I saw online. Couldn't find any IBUs. Ratings-wise, this thing did pretty good. So had an 84 good as the aggregate score on Beer Advocate. Untapped a 3.32, Beer Advocate a 3.6. So an IPA. You know, I'm not a huge IPA fan, but it is nice to break up the monotony of Helles lagers and Pilsners. So kind of happy to see this one. Now, what do I need? My chart. I've forgotten my chart. It's all right. I'm going to go without it. Look at this. It's kind of like a light golden color. I mean, I would probably say maybe a 4 or 5. Instead of head, pretty decent. 2.5 fingers of white head. I will say it is quite soapy looking though. You can see kind of big bubbles in it. Carbonation, minimal. I mean, you see some bubbles coming up, but nothing too crazy. Not moving too fast. So they look all right. Let's give this a sniff. Snorted in half of it. The smell is a bit odd on this. It's not what I would expect. The smell on this is almost like sweet caramel malt as opposed to the big hoppy notes, either piney or citrusy or whatever I would expect. Kind of like a caramel malt, a bit of sweetness there. You do pick up some hops, but it's probably more like a floral hop smell. Interesting smell for an IPA. Let's give it a shot, see what it's like. Cheers. Body on this super thin. I'm not even going to say medium. This is light bodied. Kind of throwing me off for an IPA. The taste, the first thing I'm picking up is kind of like that caramel malt again. Now you do pick up some bitterness throughout, but it's kind of like, I don't know, more like an earthy type bitterness. It's not piney, and I wouldn't say that it's tropical at all, which are usually the two things that I pick up when I have IPAs. You do pick up hops, but it's not traditionally what I'd associate with an IPA. It's also not very bitter. There's bitterness throughout, but it's not super bitter. And again, if it was like a pale ale maybe, I'm beginning to wonder, I should have done some more homework and saw what the difference between the German pale ale was and this IPA. I guess they're distinct things. On Untapped, there were different check-ins for each one. And I looked at my photo. The other one was in the 12 Beers of Christmas box last year. And I looked at the photo, and the photo didn't match up. So it wasn't a silver can like this. It was a different colored can. I think it might have been green last year, if I'm remembering correctly, or maybe black. I don't remember. But it is definitely a different can, so I guess they're different beers. This is good. It's just kind of odd. If somebody gave this to me, I don't know that I would say IPA. I'm not sure what I think it is. It almost tastes like a sweet malty pale ale, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But it's not a bad beer whatsoever. So, I mean, I would have another one. It's just, this style-wise, it just kind of throws me for a loop. But, I mean, like I said, I guess it's good to break up the monotony of having a bunch of Helles lagers and different things. So, IPA-ish. I wouldn't say this is a typical American IPA, but it's not a bad beer. So, try to make sure I pronounce it correctly this time. Perlenzauber IPA. You get a big thumbs up. I would have another one of these. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. As always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Did you have the Perlenzauber IPA? What did you think of it? To me, it's kind of odd. It's not bad, just not what I think of when I think of an IPA. Let me know in the comments below. Hey, Till next time, cheers.